The very final major update is finally here for the last stand season of Warzone. So here's what we got. Each week brings a ton of different playlists, a lot of fan favorites that haven't been around in quite some time. They're bringing them back. They're kind of calling it the greatest hits of the year. It goes on to talk about that Rebirth Resurgence Supreme mode where they've increased the countdown a little longer. Players have a little more health, but doing actions like opening crates and getting kills will reduce that timer a lot more. And you don't have to worry about your loadout as much, as you're going to get Supreme weapons as floor loot. This mode is supposed to increase the intensity, the competition, and it's supposed to be a more challenging experience overall. They are giving everyone free calling cards like the King Gra, the Broken DMR, and the Eagle Child. For the loadout cost, it's going to go around $5 to $100 every time you get a new circle. There's going to be more Gulag tokens and more redeploy tokens. There's a bunch of quality of life updates. You can read them if you really want to go to their website and do so. Perks, when you pick it up, it'll now display what you picked up. And for a scavenger pouch, you will actually drop $1,000 from the enemy. They gave a little buff to the portable decontamination stations, up from 13 seconds to 20 seconds. And the biggest part, the weapon updates. And as I stated in my last video about this, we have the new AR coming and the new LMG. I'm going to post a video here in a couple hours about how to unlock those weapons. Now, there's a ton of changes for the AR, so I'm actually going to post about that in a different video. But if you want to head over to the website to check out the changes for yourself now, you can do so. Same thing with the shotguns. I'm going to post another video about that because a couple of them might be broken again. For the SMGs, as expected, the armor wearer got a little nerf to its damage multiplier, its movement speed, and its ammo capacity. The Bullfrog got a baby buff to a couple multipliers. The RA225, which is that new SMG earlier this season, it got a nerf to its next damage multiplier and one of its barrels, but it did get an increase to its ammo capacity. The Blixen got a nerf to its lower torso, which isn't that huge. The ISO actually got a solid buff to its neck damage multiplier, but it's really not going to help you that much unless you're landing a ton of neck shots. A CX-9 also got a buff to its neck damage multiplier and its headshot multiplier, so it's going to increase a good amount, but again, you got to hit those shots. The KSP Burst SMG, you can now just hold down the trigger. You don't have to actually spam it, but it did get a small decrease to its lower extremities damage multiplier. And as expected, the Vanguard PPA's got a huge nerf to its ammo, to its damage multiplier, so it's not going to be nearly as good. And another expected nerf to LMGs, the UGM got a long-range damage nerf, also to its multipliers and to some of its muzzle velocity depending on the barrel. The thing was an absolute laser, so this was expected. Some side rifles got some nerfs and some buffs to its damage range and stuff like that, and its bullet drop-off, but the main thing is the Rytech Modern Warfare Rytech can now one-shot at any range. And it got a buff to the explosive rounds, so those might be interesting to try out again. A lot of people are using the Vanguard Gorenko sniper, and that actually got a nerf to its fire rate, to its bullet drop-off, and its muzzle velocity. So there you have it. That is most of the changes for the final mid-season update of Warzone. Stay tuned for videos on how to unlock the 2 new weapons, the big changes to the long-range ARs, and the huge buff to the shotguns.